Hello everyone, welcome back to another video lesson. In this session, we're going to discuss about analysis of quantitative data. After collecting data from the research process, the researcher ought to analyze the data and present their findings in an orderly and scientific way. Data analysis is a very important aspect of the report writing process. You will have to analyze your data objectively and present the important findings. Data analysis is in 3 stages. 1. Univariate or univariable analysis. 2. Bivariate or bivariable analysis. 3. Multivariate or multivariable analysis. Univariate analysis may be the only analysis necessary and may provide adequate results for some studies, especially the short studies involving cross-sectional studies that are purely descriptive, or those that have small sample sizes. The main interest here is to determine prevalence of important characteristics in a population and possibly formulate hypotheses. In this session, we shall recap our earlier knowledge on these methods. First, we'll start with the univariate analysis, then proceed to bivariate, and then end with the multivariate analysis. 1. Univariate analysis. Apart from frequency tables, other sections of the variables may be presented in an enhanced way using graphs and figures. Examples include frequency polygons, histograms, bar charts, scatter plots, line graphs, pie charts, box and whisker plots, and many other forms. Bivariate analysis means any comparison of 2 variables. In such cases, we have to conduct tests of association, report statistical significance, and make conclusions concerning the relationships between variables. The statistical tests we conduct depend on the types of variables that we are comparing. For categorical variables, we compute proportions, mainly in the form of percentages. We present them in frequency tables that show the frequencies and percentages. Most variables you will deal with in your study reports are categorical variables, and it is important that you learn how to present the findings. For the categorical variables, it matters whether they are 2-level categorical or multi-level categorical, nominal or ordinal. Here, if the multi-level categorical variable is binary, we use a t-test. If the multi-level categorical variable grouping variable is more than 2 categories, we conduct several t-tests, or we can use a procedure called analysis of variance ANOVA. An example is if we are comparing the relationship between class grades Senior 1 to Senior 6 with height. Multivariate analysis. Oftentimes in comparative studies it may be necessary to conduct multivariate analysis or adjusted analysis to control for confounding and assess for interaction and effect modification. And if you liked this video, please hit the like button and share with your friends. And if you're new here, please subscribe so that you can be notified whenever I post new videos. In comparing relationships between exposure variables and outcomes, some variables that appear to be significant at bivariate analysis may not in reality be associated with the outcome of interest. They may instead be associated with another variable that is predominant in people with the exposure being compared and may give an erroneous interpretation. It is therefore important that we adjust for possible confounding. Here, we compute coefficients as the test for statistical significance. An example is if we are comparing the mean heights of students into schools. The computer tells us the mean difference, the t-statistic, and the p-value or confidence interval of the difference. The t-test may be an independent samples t-test like in the situation above, or it may be a paired t-test if the 2 samples are comparing means before and after in the same sample e.g. if we have malnourished babies and we take their weights and determine the mean. Then we feed them for 3 weeks and take their weights again, so that we can compare the change in mean weights. Comparison of a multi-categorical variable with another variable that is either binary or multi-categorical, A. Here, we use the chi-square test. An example is when we compare level of education multi-level categorical with religion multi-level categorical or sex binary if the dependent variable we are comparing is the same. It is even better to present these in the same table A. We do not have to present a separate table for sex and one for religion. Comparing with education level, as you can see, we need a data analysis plan to predetermine what univariate analysis we shall run and what bivariate comparisons we shall make. There are different scenarios possible. Univariate analysis is the first step of data analysis. In univariate analysis, we conduct an exploration of the data and analyze for descriptive statistics for the main variables in our data. For numerical variables, we compute summary parameters like the means, the modes, the medians, the standard deviation, and variance, the range and interquartile ranges. We present these mainly using a narrative text, but we may also present summary tables where the parameters and variables are many. We may use the chi-square test. We can also use odds ratios or relative risk and reporting statistical association using either the chi-square p-value for the chi-square or the confidence interval or p-value for the measures of risk, OR and RR. Again, if we have a common dependent variable, all the comparisons with independent variables can be summarized in the same frequency table. Use of figures and graphs in data presentation. It is important to use appropriate figures to present your data. 2. Bivariate analysis. In many of your studies, it may be necessary to conduct a level of bivariate analysis to compare the relationship between the dependent and independent variables. We may compare a numerical variable with another numerical one, a numerical variable with a categorical variable, a categorical variable with another categorical variable for the numerical variables. It also matters whether they are discrete continuous variables or random continuous variables. A comparison of a binary categorical variable with another binary categorical variable. A. Here, we have two options. Comparison of a numerical variable with a multi-level categorical variable. A. B. Comparison of a numerical variable with another numerical variable with one of them being discrete and the other continuous. A. Here, we may use linear regression analysis. 3. Logistic regression, multiple linear regression, multivariate analysis of variance, Cox regression, Poisson regression. And that's all for this video. If you want me to go into the details of each of these procedures, please let me know through the comments section below.